And welcome to the SmackDown Preview. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by another one of Dudley Moon, Michael Hamflett from WhatCulture, to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review SmackDown, but also the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, TNA Impact just this week. Pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a bloody quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As said, they're joined by Michael Hamflett to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. And what a show to look forward to. They're at Wilbourn, of course. And ran it, sold it out, completed it. So, big follow-up from last week's, obviously, monumental title change. Looking ahead to Saturday night's main event. And stick around, because later on this podcast, I know we've done it before, but this one actually feels achievable. Michael Hamflett could well break a world record.
The feature that shook the nation is back. Can Hamflett, making a pig of himself on the internet, have worth?
I know what you're thinking. With regards to this world record, what's it? Well, we'll tell you a little bit later on.
Eagle-eyed viewers, if you're watching on YouTube, eagle-eared if you're listening, but then your ears need to be eyes, might have known that my SmackDown salute was a little sterner than usual, because I was doing it almost in defiance of anybody that currently thinks that salute is just a joke that's spiraled way out of control, let's say, from the era when everyone was calling the Bloodline Cinema every week and you put the Panpipe Fox noise on the soundboard and we stuck a salute on it. It has reached the point, and I imagine we may be the only defence force of this, but I'm comfortable with that. Like, I am currently saluting 2026 SmackDown, full stop.
3 Hour SmackDowns are goated.
How? Like, we joked before Christmas. I'll always remember, it was coming out of the Perth edition of SmackDown, where we started making the comparison to the hairy Man United fan that cannot go at the barbers and may never go again.
No.
Now, in the absence of, like, Amarim, who was barely getting it right, but looked like he might get it right enough. You're welcome for the 3 points, by the way. Like, in hindsight, I might as well stick them in the Burnley column with. We probably should have won that. Like, he may never cut his hair, but we thought that getting 5 SmackDowns in a row that were of a decent standard was just as impossible a challenge. We must have doubled it by now. We must be 10. Like, Perth was October, I think.
The game has to be now 5 consecutive 3 Hour SmackDowns. We've got 2 in the bank already.
Let's just extend that bitch out. 5 consecutive years of good quality SmackDown. Easy. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, 5 consecutive 3 hours.
And we said last week, okay, first one of the year, the sort of, I don't know, season premiere, year premiere, whatever you want to call it, the sort of week of the big week that they had.
Title week, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Then it's like, okay, next week, Berlin, and obviously 3-stage of Hell world title. Huge developments on that, of course. Then it was like, are they going to try for the 3rd week? And then I didn't even realise when we first started talking about that, they were coming to good old Blighty.
Yeah.
And
Fish and Chipsville.
Already looking ahead to, next weekend's Saturday night's main event and setting up the 4-way to fight Drew in Saudi at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. And having just saying that sentence, not mentioning Cody Rhodes' name, is wild to me.
What's that old, it was alliterative bit of wordplay business from back in the day. Piss poor planning prevents positive perineum.
Yep.
And what that illustrates is that if you have some long-term goals that you want to achieve, like, the best thing you can do is look all the way to the end of that long-term goal, see it, and then bring it right back to the beginning. And in WWE's case, the Royal Rumble has been the big one at the very end of January, and in Saudi Arabia, no less. So what they've done is go right the way back to the first SmackDown of January, where it's the big move to 3 hours. That looks like a pretty long tunnel, doesn't it? Of a January, from the 1st to the 31st, oh, and by the way, your B show that a lot of people don't really enjoy is just added an hour. Looks rough on paper, doesn't it? And then as you've laid out the first 2 weeks, bingo, bango, bongo, they didn't rush Cody and Drew onto that first one of the year because they knew they could use that last week to sort of tee it up. And the 3-hourness of SmackDown was enough for that first week. Damian Priest versus Aleister Black was kind of trash, but it was main event feeling. It was a match masquerading as a main event, just effectively enough. And
he's merited his spot in these qualifiers now off the back of that.
And the Cody Drew angle was the big thing in the middle, wasn't it? With the burned photo. So it was eventful. We said that at the time.
Why wouldn't you use the watch if you had that?
Even when it wasn't good, it was eventful. It was busy.
Yes,
3 hours, it really zipped by. And then last week, massive, like genuinely massive. A huge return in an enormous main event with seismic ramifications. Like proper...
shockwaves.
Proper shockwaves.
Cody Roman's gone. It's not happening at Mania now.
Well, and I guess we'll see. But again, now...
according to reports, obviously.
Now, how many plans change... like scenarios have we found in the last few years alone in the more quote-unquote organised years of WrestleMania booking, you know, like the...
I like unpredictability.
I don't mind a bit of it.
Shake it up a bit.
This is it. This is why I was such an advocate of it in the big championship week. And here we are now. You've got this week where, as we're about to talk about, don't be rattled, by the way, if this is sounding a bit too us previewing SmackDown.
We've got a lot to get through.
Significant interjections to follow. This is a massively stacked card for a massively stacked match next week as part of a, massively stacked weekend in Montreal, which will lead us to, some pretty heavy speculation. That in itself doesn't just feed into one Royal Rumble match, it kind of feeds into two, because you're getting Drew's opponent, big title match, but everybody else will then subsequently drop into the Rumble. And you're suddenly going to be aware of their title aspirations, how much of... do we consider, after the Jey Uso precedent was set, do we consider them like an outside bet? Should they be thought of as a favourite? Like how poorly do they perform in this tournament? And then all of a sudden it's like, are they just out of the chase here? Like, I really like that it feels very, like by design, A to B to C to D, like kind of booking of this. We said it that first week. Why is there like 400 challenges? Well, here's why. Like, you are getting the immediate answer to that question ahead of the biggest, literally in 30 men, the biggest match of the year where that...
more ahead of than Raw, for example.
Oh, God, yeah. Like, leave it in the dust at the moment, genuinely. And Raw was all right this week.
Yeah.
But, like...
in terms of title challenges, it's Braun Breaker and, I don't know, Logan Paul wouldn't mind a shot, probably.
It's dry, innit? It's pretty drab at the top of that show. And...
apart from Obafemi.
Well, yeah.
Just teasing everywhere.
Couldn't be more the opposite on SmackDown.
Yeah, every single name... I mean, Matt Connor has just arrived, but every single name merits...
well, that's a good place to start. People that don't know, what's like...
Yes, yeah. Sorry, the show tonight, Wembley, London, I think our time.
I think so. Netflix, I think, obviously, if you're watching in the other country, America, I think you might have to wait for it on the tape delay in the USA.
Unlucky.
That's the old, the last network standing. But
looks like we got one up on America, so now we're just 150 down.
but if... like
3 months today, by the way, we'll be in Las Vegas.
Oh, thank you.
All going well.
My friend to the right, screen left, will tell you there are many good reasons to get a Bulgarian VPN on the go. And one of them would be to log into European Netflix if you've got it on your phone.
Yeah, good point.
Yourself, and then you can watch it at, like earlier in the day if you wish. I guess for our American friends, they might be like finishing the work day or the college or the whatever day. And you can have like, mid-afternoon smackers or something. Our tea time.
I'll probably won't watch it live because it's always around sort of bath and bedtime. But being able to then, like I did on Monday, just fire it up, skip through the, adverts, nothing else, not the entrances. I'm not insane here on the SmackDown Preview podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, skip through that sort of thing. And because my weekend as a dad now is not like it used to be, i.e. Saturday morning, fire it up, because it's like, Eric, you're 2, maybe don't watch this yet. He tried to watch a bit of TNA Impact this morning. I said, definitely don't watch that.
Never, ever. You want him to like it.
Yeah. So then I have to kind of pick my spots, and with social media and stuff like that, Traitors is bad enough in terms of spoilers. No Traitors spoilers on this podcast, by the way.
Monday for Traitors talk on the review. We are both at different stages in our Traitors watch of this week, but they're
1.5 behind.
You're going to be caught up by Sunday night?
Yeah.
Me too. Like, Monday will be the big Traitors.
It's Gladiators weekend, ladies and gentlemen.
We say it every year, the crown jewel of the BBC's calendar is January.
What's the new event, by the way? They're definitely bringing something new in.
There's 3, I think, isn't there?
Is there 3?
I'm sure they trailed 3 on the Christmas special.
And are we getting a new Gladiator as well?
Don't think so this year.
Okay.
Because they had like 2 last year, didn't they? That, like,
it was Cyclone.
Cyclone. She's a badass.
Love
Like,
Cyclone.
yeah, I'm hammer. Or whatever. Like, it was an unbelievable look.
I love gimmicks. And she's like, you've got a hammer.
Don't talk, hammer.
Yeah.
It's really, really great to be here. I love him.
It's from like Leeds or whatever, isn't it? Yeah.
Look at me and my, like, all of mine's rubbish. I'm the opposite of a Gladiator. I look like crap and this is my voice.
My big question heading into this weekend is, are they going to pick back up the seemingly dropped storyline between Apollo and Sabre? Sort of a love interest.
That was hot.
I was rock hard watching.
Couple of hardies with the bodies. Like,
There was a
getting
bit,
too distracted.
it's very sort of Fed acting as well. Like Sabre, who's one of the sort of leader of the female gladiators.
Seems that way, yeah.
She took a rough bump in some duel or whatever. And Apollo, who's like 6'7", he does this.
6'7".
Eric can do it now. Sorry, yeah. Eric can do all the gestures, by the way. He copies them.
I love that. I love that. He's ready for the business.
Yeah. He went to check on her and he went, "Are you all right?" And she went, "Yeah." And I was like,
It was very much like sort of, maybe I've been all right the whole time.
Maybe I could do with a massage.
In the changing rooms. So.
SmackDown. Oh, yeah. They've all got their gimmicks of like, this girl can control lightning. This girl. I really like Fury. I think Fury's genuinely like cool and, she's partially deaf.
Yes.
So like, and I like her attitude as well.
Yeah.
But like, they've all got their own
representation, visibility is good.
And it's like, Jeff's brought his hammer. Is that anything?
This is the gladiator that nobody takes anywhere near as much an interest as they did several years ago. It's Dynamite.
I like Dynamite.
Yeah, me too. I like them all.
She's the sort of babyface assassin, isn't she?
Yeah.
Because you look at her and you go,
she's quite young and she isn't really in for the fight. And then she kick in ass.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'd like Hammer to use his hammer. Oh, we're on Hang Tough and... Hammer's got his hammer. Is that allowed?
Through the air with a hammer.
Jesus.
Use it instead of duel. So they've got this, how do I navigate this? He's bang. So the right to center. Like, he doesn't even need to Triple H it with the 2 hands. Bop. Timmy Mallet, but lethal.
Yeah. But yes, SmackDown, to circle back.
Because it is good.
Yeah. Let's talk the first of the 4 qualifiers then. And Matt Cardona versus... I like Matt Cardona. Happy he's back in WWE. Happy he's back getting paid. Happy he's back with his missus in the company. And I'd beat him like a drum here. It's Trick Williams. Obviously, he should be in the 4-way for me.
It's good this, right? So why... This is where we were going to get to before we try not to get diverted on this podcast. But
sorry about
that. The point I was going to make about Matt Cardona, no, not a favourite to become like the number 1 contender to the WWE title at the Royal Rumble. Obviously, and that's no disrespect to Matt Cardona, but like, let's not patronise anybody here. However, it was interesting to me that they gave that character, knowing what we know about him, the agency to go right up and front up to Cody Rhodes before he lost the title. Nice to see it, but consider me another one of your mates that wants the title, right? Because with that device, and we're going to get to several more of them as we go on it, what they did was create that desire and make you speculate on the lengths they would go to. And now they don't even need to like stab their friend in the front. Now it's an actual heel or an actual sort of potential rival that holds the gold. So Matt Cardona is not going to beat Trick Williams. Of this, I am sure. This Trick Williams launch on SmackDown has been 10 out of 10 no notes, and I've not been saying that about WWE enough, but handled with perfection, I would say at this point. And I would extend that to this because Matt Cardona is somebody that can put over Trick Williams. But what I like about that is that he has returned to WWE with what some people would consider like a false sense of renewed confidence. And this will almost prove that. That like...
Yeah, I love him, but you beat Kit Wilson.
That chest out, Cody, I want my title shot, suddenly gets like massively deflated by a loss to a quote-unquote newcomer, a rookie in Trick Williams. We know how over Trick Williams can get and how you can put... We've been in full houses in America where he headlines, and yes, it's an NXT show over WrestleMania weekend. All caveats notwithstanding, he's blown the roof off buildings, right? And it is so much more important what he can do than what he can't. And so far, so good with Rey Fenix in obscuring what he can't do. So this is a bigger test, belt to belt. bigger test belt, the bell. But again, I think the UK will come out for Trick Williams tonight. I feel pretty strongly about that.
Whoa, there, Trick.
So when Cardona loses, and I think he will lose, what then does that character that just 7 days ago was so buzzed and determined to be back and be like, well, you're my mate, but I want to be the world champion. How does he rebound? How does he sort of try and not accept life just being Zack Ryder again, but by a different name? There's actual chance and potential of a character. What about Cody? What about the two of them facing off next week after they've both suffered these heavy defeats? It's all a bit different 2 weeks ago, isn't it? It's a football thing, that. You know, when you just like riding the high, and then all it takes is like 1 or 2 games and all the confidence drops, and you're like, league was good a few weeks ago, what the hell's happened? Like, it's really fickle, and they get to play with that, like, the ups and downs of sport through characters like these mates that will then probably both have to enter the Royal Rumble and fight each other to try and win. Like, the opportunity for development is high. And Trick,
what if they say he's not going to, because they're 2 stars, but what if the SmackDown GM, I can't remember what his name is, said, actually, we are going to have a qualifier for the Rumble. It's Matt Cardona versus Cody Rhodes.
Oh, yes. Cody has to put a bullet in his friend's head and his dreams just to get into the match that he needs. Love it. Trick. I'll come and say this on Monday, by the way. I know that they will beat Trick Williams soon, and people should be comfortable with that. He's not like an unbeaten street wrestler. He's hot right now. And like a defeat will...
He might be the one taking the pin in the 4-way, by the way.
Well,
if he wins this with the way
I would consider it from how strong week 1 with Trick and Sami Zayn was. I know this sounds like I'm going early here. Booking malpractice not to send Trick Williams to Montreal as a guy that can beat Sami Zayn. Like, I think you have to do that. Like, put them together in a 4-way in Montreal and Trick Williams getting an earfall. Like, I don't care about any of this. Why have I come to this freezing cold expanse where losers like Sami Zayn come from? I don't, like, sort of need this.
Any HBK stuff he can integrate into that?
There is now. Yeah, of course. Like, he just ups and says, like, good stuff here. Good stuff's happened here in the past. Decisions that Trick Williams agrees with, and there's going to be another one later on. I love seeing locals getting screwed in this building. No.
I want to talk about another one of the qualifiers, which also leads us into a separate conversation about what you got up to last night. It's Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa, the man who stole. Unzip this. Show off the new
I can't see the laptops there. Your jacket, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
Gorgeous shirt.
The Chesterfield third kit. Got Bromley at lunchtime tomorrow. That's the big early kickoff tomorrow, right?
Definitely,
no one else is interested in anything else at lunchtime tomorrow.
No.
The man who stole Uncle Howdy's lantern last week.
Oh, my God.
I sense might factor into the finish of this match. But that's not what we're really here to talk about. Tell us about your Thursday night, Michael Hamflett.
Right. I'm going to sit back up again from my MFT position. Just for now. Last night, and a few people will know this because I've been talking about it on the podcast this last couple of weeks, I attended the WWE house show in Newcastle.
Oh my God.
It has been 6 years since I attended the house show in Newcastle, partly because it's not been as busy a tour in town on the sketch, partly because it was mostly diabolical. And you know, because you were there. I got free tickets because of Randy Orton AJ Styles Lightgate from WrestleMania 35.
Gosh, yeah.
I got free tickets to the Newcastle House Show and free tickets to the Survivor Series in Chicago. Guess which experience was better? Because, you know, the Fed would come to town, the tickets were super cheap. It was a different time in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now cheaper than free, but even then they were still only going for like 15 quid or something.
Yeah.
And the product was garbage. We looked at the card the other day. How we laughed. Basically, just a way to look at some wrestlers. Good for you. The wrestlers turned up. Cheer the wrestler. Smile at the wrestler. What else you got? Like, the matches were quite poor, and there was no... Obviously, house shows don't have stories, but they shouldn't. Should just be a fun night. It was more logical than your average Raw SmackDown in 2019, but nobody was over.
Yeah.
Outside like 3 people, so you're just like, all right, there's 3 more, I suppose. Like, when's Becky Lynch getting here?
Yeah.
It was that mindset the whole night, wasn't it?
CM Punk and Cody Rhodes as a tag team, the last house show I went to. Didn't get that back in 2019.
No. And I'll get to the content of the show in just a second, but this one had a lot more significance to me. This was either going to be the conclusion and culmination of the last year, of something quite unexpected in my life, or possibly the new beginning of another chapter, because I took my children who got into WWE in a bigger way, rather than just in a by osmosis way that they knew their dad talked about wrestling on the internet for a living. They really loved last year's Royal Rumble. Like, Royal Rumble's it was how I got in. You know, like, it's such an in for anybody, but last year's in particular, with the info box, with the fact it was on Netflix, it was this.
Yeah.
What a way to entice new viewers to stick at it, TNA. More on that later. Can't wait. And that was it.
I don't think I've ever seen Michael Sidgwick this giddy.
He's needed one of these shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've had a year, ups and downs. Joshua, my 10-year-old, fell in love with Cody Rhodes, the top star. Charlie, his first flashes of being a hater, just like to follow who his brother didn't. So he does like CM Punk because everyone needs a top babyface, but has really enjoyed the work of the likes of John Cena and more recently the work of Drew McIntyre, spotting the pattern. But great, they're both fat. So Saturday mornings, typically, tonight we'll be probably watching SmackDown all together. The timing of the shows, whatever. We'll watch the PLEs when they've been live in different countries, or the next day, whatever. Loads of wrestling watched together unexpectedly, and a joy for me as well to get to live a little bit of it through them, which is ultimately what I expected my experience at the house show to be last night. It mostly was. And let me share some of those experiences quickly. But then I've got a few actual analytical epiphanies that I felt while I had my work brain on, when I wasn't just this doting dad having the night of his life, right? So I've described before on this podcast of, like, taking the kids to the football. I know it'll be something, I was with you when he took Eric to his first game, but when he's old enough to, like, really get what's going on, I know that'll be a big thing for you. And it was for me. And we were in League One and the Championship, and they've seen some amazing stuff. They've seen my lifetime's worth of good Sunderland stuff in their, like, 5 years watching Sunderland, right? But, like, they started at the bottom of his club's history to get there. So I feel like they've earned it a bit. But last night was like a speed run of that. Because last night it took one ring of the bell for them to, like, get that, like, sort of, I would describe it as the inside of their body look like when you see blackcurrant cordial fusion with water in the glass. Like, this complete coloration of all the blood vessels and being like, like that, the instantaneous feeling of live wrestling about to happen in front of them. It's
amazing. Still gets us.
We got in the building. I got us tickets in the 200s because in a goddamn dirty war box. Like,
yeah, that's not £200, right?
No, the 200s, as in the cheapest seats in the building, 60 quid a shot, which made me wince at the time, but they were Christmas presents. Let me tell you, 2 hours, 3 hours later, worth every penny. Yeah. Never thought I'd say it, right? So we get in there, and we're in there early enough that, like, they haven't yet put I'm good with the arena. I know where the security are based at any given point, and they haven't yet put the security in the gap between the uppers and the floor. So I was like, come this way. So I got us onto the floor so we could take a picture by the ring.
Yeah, it looks lovely, that.
Before the security would take their spots, and then you can't navigate in between. So they were thrilled with that, like, just looking at it all and being that up close to it, and that was amazing. And then we go and take our seats. They're both so buzzed with the view. A new tiered seating. It's not that big a building. It's a toilet, quite honestly. It's a terrible building, but, like, there's no like seats that are that far away from the ring, and I knew that, but I think they were worried that because we were not going to be on the floor, it was a much better, because you could see the entrance. There'd be a bit of effort with the stage and everything now. Screens. Like, this was another thing struck me. I'll get to that in a second. An analysis portion coming second. Sorry, if you're not asked remotely about Michael Hamflett's personal diary, skim forward a bit and we'll get back to SmackDown. But, so the kids, the show opens, to your point about, like, you getting your CM Punk Cody Rhodes tag match. The show opened with Gunther versus Sami Zayn.
Jesus.
So just a rematch of one of the best WrestleMania matches from the last, like, 5 years. Consensus best. And they're doing house show stuff, really. But, like, Gunther's insanely over as a heel. Like, just riding the Cena wave, as you can imagine. Sami Zayn, the eternal beloved babyface. So the chemistry is inch perfect for what is ultimately the easiest shift of the night anyway. But just everything's loud. Everything's hot. Gunther's got one fan in the building, and it's my son Charlie, who is just up and just loves him. Like, I think I'm going to stick with this hater business. I think I like this, actually. Sammy comes out first, and Charlie's seeing the cheers. He was like, no, Gunther looks like my dad. We're in Gunther's season. And Joshua quite likes Sammy's in, so that's, like, all the fuel he needs to be like, I'm a Gunther guy. So every time Sammy does anything, he's just screaming, you're cheating, right? Sammy's getting chants. People are singing his theme as a supporter chant. Oh, Joshua to my left, like, inhibitions gone, just singing away, all this kind of stuff. Like, so they are locked in. I am watching them, like, take their emotional cues 100% from the thing being broadcast to them. They're not stopping to think. They're not taking a moment with their thoughts. They are like locked in as an overused phrase. They are, even us, when we say we're locked in into a match, when is it ever 100% as an adult? Probably never, is it? Is there anything you're locked into as an adult? You kind of have to live with there's always something where you're like, now I've got to, not when you're a kid still, thank God. And I am nearly in tears at what I'm seeing here. And it occurred to me that the football thing takes longer because the sport can't promise you anything. This is what we want. The emulation of the sport that creates the same emotion but guarantees you it, rather than the sport itself that can't, right?
Despite the years that they were like, you can control the results.
Yeah.
So you can make it good.
I am so fortunate that I didn't have to take them in that era where the atmosphere would be totally different. Why half the crowd booing and cheering this? Right, well, let me just open this really long explanation that I've had to find out. That I had to write myself because none of the product makes sense, kids. I'm sorry. No, this is why I will back logical, boring, competent, fed over all else, because I want the market leader, even when it's dull to some people, to lead the market. Goodies and baddies, common sense storytelling. And this was a pattern throughout the night, right? I told you, and I'd mentioned on the podcast, the wrestlers that were listed. So I knew, well, and we'll save the best to last. I knew 90% of this roster, but even the nice surprises felt bigger in the moment. Joshua, I didn't realise quite how much over this US title reign he's connected with Ilya Dragunov, because Shinsuke Nakamura comes out, big pop, but we don't know who's working. And then Titantron, Ilya, like that. Like Joshua's off his chair, giving it this. I was like, that US title run has worked. Instant baby face, opposite of how you felt at WrestleMania weekend when he came out. Like, instant, it's Ilya. Didn't know he was coming. Like, he looks like Jordan Pickford, and he hits really hard. Like, loves Ilya Dragunov, which I didn't realise to what extent. I think he did. And again, Magic Alive Wrestling, right? And he loses to Shinsuke. Shinsuke's in like, I guess like a sort of, he's just had the mellow match. He's finding a bit of form, I guess. And I don't know where they're at with Ilya right now, but decent little match. I know it sounds patronising, but you get the majority of the high spots, whatever. So Ilya's a big fan favourite. Women's six-man. A six-women match, should say, I guess. Alexa Bliss, Bayley, and Charlotte Flair. Just top-tier babyface. 10 years between them now. Well, not 10 years each. 30 years between them. Like, saw 2 out of the 3 of them work the Newcastle NXT house show and that fabled 2015 tour. Like, hey, Bayley chants for the first 2-3 minutes of the match that they know is coming, so they get to work it into a spot, versus the Kabuki Warriors and Roxanne Perez. So not only are you getting all this, like, heel babyface stuff, the work rate's high. High. It's a house show. But you know what I mean? Like, they're no slouches, are they? So, like, the work's good. They tease out a spot where Charlotte struts. Woo! Like, biggest star in the match, really. Bayley struts. Everybody loves that. Alexa's about to strut. She doesn't want to do it, but like, go on, strut. And then the heels break it up. And they must go to that like 3 times. And it's like, this is what the business is all about. People are dying for that Alexa strut and they get it. And, that like that instant gratification, like the boys really loved the baby faces, like loved, again, it's a little bit of a surprise for me. I'm watching them on TV and stuff they connect with or not, but like Charlotte Flair's like getting like woos out the building. It's great. Like there was like Joshua had said, I haven't like, doesn't watch Raw quite as much, says I haven't seen Bayley as much lately. Bayley's great, like just because she was just hamming up the babyface side of her persona.
Careful, because she might change personalities in a second.
Well, I said that. I said, well, you like half of her. But don't worry, like there's a bird lady that might slap her in the face.
What?
I've ended up doing the whole rundown. I didn't mean to. But this just keeps happening. This keeps happening. Like this. And Javon Evans and Bron Breakker gets broken up when Bronson Reed. I mean, by the way, Javon Evans is Bron Breakker. So what about? Right, everyone's here. Gets broken up by Bronson Reed attacking and like theme music save up and down this roster. Like,
Jesus.
Glass break, unglued. He was the biggest star than Cody on the night. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Punk guy. The guy. Like, he was the guy in Newcastle last night with CM Punk. So he comes out, beats ass, and then he asks Newcastle, like, holla, holla, do you want a tag team match? Obviously, everybody wants that tag team match. So we're watching the Vision versus, of 2 Bronnies versus Punk and Javon. And again, Joshua turns to me and he says, I don't know why was it not facing me in the first place. He turns to me and he says, oh, God, I really want to see a Bron Breakker spear in real life. I love it when kids say it in real life, right? It's like, I'd quite like to see Tsunami. And then, like, all of these things independent of one another. Maybe I say you go to sleep. All right, let me tell you, he saw one of those 3, and he's not yet mentioned to me that he didn't get the 3, because this match was just all fire, all heat when like they did a double heat. So Punk took the beating, Javon Evans hot tag, bouncing and flying all over the place because he's at the stage where he can still do your high spots on the house shows.
Yeah.
You don't need to slow it down yet, kid, you know? Or he's too young and stupid to know better.
Or Punk is just going to use it.
Yeah. And then he gets his ass kicked, so you get the double hot tag and Punk tags back in. We didn't get a spear because Punk cut it off with a knee, but we did get Braun trying to build up speed, hitting a clothesline here and there. We got a missed tsunami, I think. We didn't get a go to sleep because the finish was CM Punk working for what felt like about 2 glorious orgasmic hours, working, trying to hit Bronson with a superplex, which he does.
Oh.
You know when those spots happen in real life and it just shakes the building, that kind of thing. And then Punk's like, you get up there. And Javon just hits a move off the top and pins Bronson Reed. So he got one of the things you want to see in real life. He is up on the chair, like singing and dancing. It takes Punk ages to leave. Ages, because now they're very much encouraged the selfies and the signing people's things in the front row and aisle and all that. So I'm not exaggerating. It's probably 5 run-throughs of Cult of Personality. We're just singing them all. We're just singing the whole song over and over again. Boo, 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 boo. Look at my ass. We're going again, are we? All right. Like, it's joy. It is joy upon joy upon joy upon joy upon joy. I'll skip to the main event because then I want to walk backwards and then I want to do some analysis because it's indulgent, apparently. We'll do 5 minutes SmackDown at the end before we get some bollocks. The second half had Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree. But the main event was Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes for all the marbles.
I've gone into this preview, I've written new WWE champion Drew McIntyre. Is that still the case?
Luckily for your preview notes, it is.
Ooh.
But my 2 kids and every other kid in Newcastle could not believe that they were about to see a title change. Red hot 2s out the ass. Because, of course, right? The first appearance of the new WWE champion. He hasn't worked since. He hasn't appeared. So, like, he's just here. And the mindset, as I was getting into, not just with mine, but, like, hearing, like, other kids, 2 kids behind us said, if Cody wins, this is the best match ever. I was like, you're damn right it is. The main event of the, like, what might be your first house show, that's exactly how you should feel. It's the best match ever. If Cody wins, it's the best match ever. I took a selfie of me and Joshua and I realised it was a mad kid, but I let him off. He was having a good night. Shouldn't want colours. The finish was Drew hitting a low blow to get out of trouble.
Oh.
But they'd knocked out referee spot when Cody had it won. Charles Robinson does the big sprint to the ring for it. Electric 2s, right? Drew takes the low blow with the disqualification, but obviously it's house show, you got to send him how it is. So Cody Rhodes just beats his ass, gets out with the table and puts him through it with another one of his splashes. Gives away the table to the kids and that's brilliant, right? What else was I going to say about that main event? And Drew, it was a fiercely split crowd. But do you remember how John Cena and Cody Rhodes was like a split crowd at WrestleMania for the first 2 minutes before the match collapsed within itself like a dying star and nobody liked any of it. Imagine that, but the literal opposite. So like,
more their SummerSlam match.
Yeah, where like people just love that Drew the Brit has brought the belt home, but it's Cody Rhodes. And it's these two waves constantly crashing into each other. And then the chants divide up. And again, I'm going to use a bad thing, but is it a good thing? It's the John Cena effect again, where you've got these like, you know, hardy, louder, male-voiced Brits who probably saw Drew for the likes of WCPW and work in the Indies, is finding his way back. Galloway working Newcastle, like we had him. And just nice and love him. And I'm glad to see him with the belt. And then you got like the kids screaming cheering the fucking heads off for Cody Rhodes. So you just get this McIntyre, let's go Cody, like crescendo stuff, you know? And like the 2 of them will flip in between when they're the heel and the baby face because it's just it's a night off, but they're still thinking with their wrestler heads on of like what to do and when. It's glorious. Proper crowd conduction every second of the way. I didn't have to do anything. You know, with Eric, like he's at the age now where in your head a thing is going to go better than it does. So when it's not going perfect, you're having to try and work it and gimmick it. You know, it's a dad thing that you kind of get used to. So I'm expecting there to be bits where like I've got to work it for them and be like, oh, maybe they don't need anything from me. They are just in it. Magic. And then in between the Becky Lynch Maxine Dupree match and the world title match, and I just assumed 2-match second half because it'd been long first. I thought it's been brilliant. This has been brilliant. And I'd done the little Rolodex in my head of like, well, that's all the wrestlers. And like, there's some kids that like want to see X, Y, and Z, and I'm not going to turn around and do think, well, actually, I think you'll find, you know, I know they're not there. Yeah. That's all right. And
very nice that you've dressed as John Cena. I don't think he's going to break his retirement for this.
Perfect, right? Exactly, yeah. Good example, because like Cody and Punk are the ones where you're like, whew, right, you need those on the card, but you think you might just get one or the other.
Not subject to change, baby.
So it's like, brilliant, right? Got them. But like, this is a home run already. So then when you've seen some of these other wrestlers, you're like, and like long time podcast listeners and viewers will know this. Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree clear out, and then Sarah Schreiber's doing ring announcing duties, and she's like, the following contest is an 8-man tag. And I'm like, 8-man tag, that's weird. And Joshua's face is, 8 more wrestlers? And I'm like, 8 more wrestlers. And as the slow motion thought is coming into my head, and the dream is possibly becoming a reality, bum, 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 bum. I simultaneously go like, I slip into my chair. I can't slip into my chair. It's glass break. I'm stood up. Taking it all. I've lost it. I did not know they were coming. All of them, 5 of them, loads of them. Jeez, it's not even just Solo. Painted up. Solo's in the suit. He's mowing out, swinging the lantern about. People are livid with that. Livid with it, right? All of Talatonga's there. There's a lad behind me. He's a regen Kane. He's better than Kane ever was, kid. Could have turned around and said that. At least had a word with your dad. Educate your race. Unbelievable, right? The Wyatt's come out, massive pop. I let the boys do the Firefly on my phone. So they're in it, like they're not Wyatt guys. They've got taste, but like they were in it in the moment. It was cool to be part of the entrance.
Great visual.
Like, yeah, fantastic. Solo cuts the. They're taking it, bum, 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 bum. They're all like, all the things line up, when they all line up at that 5 and stare at the hard camera. No hard camera at a house show, but they still do it so that Solo can stop the music by going, like blowing the lantern out. So that's coming to TV. That's happening. Yeah. Probably tonight. Just a dick about 8-man tag with Solo patrolling the floor, Nikki Cross and all that. They build to Talatonga and Eric Rowan, gets a great reaction, earthquake spots, shakes the ring, whatever, and then the referee gets distracted and Nikki Cross sneaks him with a Stone Cold Stunner on JC Mateo, I think it was, and the babyfaces win. It's just like, well, this was unbelievable. Like, so I'm worried.
What a night.
I'm worried how my voice has just come back and now it's gone again because the MFDs have rocked up in Newcastle, England. Excuse me. So yeah. Stacked and jacked, very lucky because of I think the combination of SmackDown being at Wilbourn and Raw being in Belfast is what gifted us this like super show, like
of
best,
course,
best of both worlds kind of night. You probably just get one or the other typically. And this leads me to the analysis section. If there's been a bit too much sentiment for you, my kids had one of the best nights of their life, and I had.
You sent the pictures, by the way, to me of this show. And I saw you said something like, you won't believe who's here, or I thought I knew all the matches, whatever it was, right? I'm in Tesco at this point, right? Late night, getting some bits in, and my signal's a bit iffy. So he sent me the picture of the Solo Sikoa Tron, but that didn't load on my phone. The thing that loaded first was you and Josh doing this, and I went, wait a second, what?
Sliding back in our seats. The Joshua asked me, this is such a lovely thing. By the way, in the main event, just Charlie, he turns 13 at the weekend, my eldest son, that's quite a big thing as a parent, it feels like. Just halfway through the main event, he just put his arm around me and gave me a hug. It was just a wordless expression of joy and gratitude. And I was like, don't hug me, hug the Fed. Hug it, hug it and hold it tight for the rest of your life and it will serve you well, my son. Earlier in the night, Joshua had asked me, he says, like, it's your first live wrestling show on WWE. What's your favourite ever live show you've ever gone to, right? And I said, and I came up with 2.
Probably the WhatCulture Wrestling podcast. Son.
I came up with 2, and then he hit me with a 3rd. And this is going to be relevant in a second. And I said, well, I went to a show with your mom that she loved, and obviously she doesn't really like wrestling as much as us lot, but like it was called Takeover New York, and seeing her, it wasn't too dissimilar to this really, seeing somebody just surrender to something that was obviously very great happening in front of them. And then I said, and WrestleMania 38, when Cody came back and Stone Cold Steve Austin returned, and I just like, and it was like my first work trip, so it was like, I didn't want to get too deep with him, but I was like, that was one of my dreams and all that kind of thing. And then he said, oh, and like, what about like WrestleMania 40? because he just got the figures for Christmas, so he was obviously watching Cody finish in the Star. I was like, yeah, WrestleMania, you're right. It's a good shout, Josh, yeah. And then we were leaving in the car, and I didn't want to, like, work them, but I was just, like, thinking to myself, this is one of the best experiences I've ever had watching wrestling. I felt like I was lucky, like the stars all shone on me. Not only did we get that card, but we got them at the age where, like, it'll always be the first, and even the second might be like, well, it might lose based on what if you don't take them to like a better show, and they've got the basis of comparison. It's just not as good a card, or they're not as invested in the wrestlers that you get, or they're not invested in wrestling full stop, or it's the first time they've like started like checking out kind of more hard hitting stuff like us. You just don't know, do you? You don't know. So this was like in a real sweet spot, a double sweet spot. So that was like my first sort of bit of analysis was like, obviously your experience is going to be coloured by all of that. So I say all of what I'm about to say with the wider context of I was in wrestling dreamland, you know, personal and professional wrestling dreamland. Sorry, wrestlers. Sorry about your short and long-term health, but I think we need the houses back. I really feel quite strongly after that it's time to get back on the road. We have spent, certainly as a collective, me, you and Sidge, 12 months. But I would say longer for Sidge because he felt the AEW fall off and he wasn't in the joy of the boom like we were with the Fed. We've spent a while now trying to analyse what it is about mainstream North America that's not quite where we want it to be. And reps has been a constant like feature of that discussion.
Not just in like developmental, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor and NXT sort of are the only major supply lines, and you're going to do TV tapings. But then even on main rosters or the AEW roster at large, you're looking at 2 TV tapings a week. I was watching wrestlers last night either be so experienced that they could have the time of their lives or try stuff.
Yeah,
which is always
what it's all about, isn't it?
Always the way with house shows. Everything works, really. Or you can, you know, you can do stuff that you would never do on camera. You know, you would get CM Punk was like trying to get a Javon Evans chant off, and he would never surrender that bit of his character, would he, on Raw, for example? No. And Punk doesn't need house shows, but you know, the point still stands. Every element of it was this. If you've been to a house show before, and if you haven't, like, it's that tighter connection, isn't it? Like the lights are lower. It's the bread and butter of what all of this is. And you will feel what you feel.
It takes you back to the basics, doesn't it? Yeah.
If the product is good, you will feel it. And I think there are so many more opportunities on nights like that for wrestlers to know what is good and know what is bad, because fans are willing to give them everything if it's good. Everything. You know, not just because wrestling is for kids, like as much as it is adults. And that was my other point. Like, wrestling is for everybody, but sometimes the best wrestling is for kids. And I say that as a dad now that's been in the dad game 13 years and has learned what I think good versus bad content is for the kids. Bad, unfortunately, is the stuff that we're all stuck with, which is terrible YouTube shorts and content, right, that I don't understand. Good is Sing 2, Bluey, Gladiators, and apparently non-televised World Wrestling Entertainment. Like, it was so, like, jarring to me that so much of what we see on television at the moment, with its boundaries of television and commercial break and restrictions and whatever like that, still requires the talent to just know when something's working and something's not. And like Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree did not have a good match at the house show last night. It was the only one that like could tell the kids kind of like lost their way with a bit. Work wasn't good enough, but they outright stunk out the joint on Raw. Both of these situations were avoidable.
Yes.
And I think that's what, like, wrestling has made enormous strides following the pandemic. And let's be honest, it's about cost. Like, billionaires don't care about wrestlers' bodies. If the spreadsheets change, they'd get them back out on the road again 5 nights a week like that, you know? But we've got to find a middle. We've got to find a middle. Like, I don't want wrestlers going out there and, you know, when they talk about the schedules, you'd be bumping hard 4 days, you'd get home, you'd have to do your laundry while you're supposedly spending time with your family, and then you're back out on the road again. That's no life. I get that. I really do understand that. It's hard enough doing it 1 night a week, falling on your body for a living, right? I feel guilty honestly saying it, but there's got to be a middle. There's got to be a middle, because 1,000 people piled into the toilet that is the Utility Arena last night. I understand it's not particularly in the cold January of the northeast of England. I understand those are not hospitable, like, sort of environments set up for all of this. But the wrestlers will have known and seen the benefit. The experienced ones in the locker room will have told the younger ones, take every second of this as a positive learning experience, even when it goes wrong. Even when you feel like it's going wrong, take it for the positive it is. Ask for the tape off the agents and watch it back. You know, like, think about your positioning when you're not in the ring. Like, what are you doing? Raquel Rodriguez was Roxanne Perez's number 2. She never stopped moving. The stuff she could do with people at ringside. Roxanne would go to the floor to sell and she would be over there in the corner, you know, wasn't having to think about where the hard camera was when the ad break was coming up. Like, there would have been referee communication over match times, but beyond that, like, it was, that was my analytical mind watching it, you know. We have lost something more than just wrestlers having to take more bumps by the loss of a sensible house show. Like, I feel enlivened.
Sense it, yeah.
Can I have one swear?
You've already had one, but yeah.
Can I have 2 swears?
Go on.
TNA for trying to take that away from me this morning when I watched the absolute drivel that was Impact. I won't let them.
Not even TNA can stop me.
I was floating on air last night, and I was floating on air to come back in with the privilege, not just to get to talk about this, because I've lived every dream in this job. I tell you, last night gave me a new dream. I don't know if the kids are going to care. I don't know if they're going to be old enough, but everything they got last night, like, made me want to give them it again and again and again and again and again. Now, I can't because the prices are too high. But if you bring the house shows back, you can actually lower them a little bit, and you can make it more affordable again for people to attend wrestling as a family night out, rather than hoping that TV comes to the town and then stinging them to the tune of 500 quid. Like, it doesn't work as a family night out. But last night, and I mean razor thin margins because it was a Christmas present, just did. And I came away thinking that wasn't a waste. I paid about the same for Kylie in the same building. Maybe we're lucky because it's such a hole and it's a cold part of the country. The Utility is a bad building. But, like, maybe that's why we get lucky with lucky 60 quid a shot. But, like, I was ready to go again. Like, if this was a doubler and they were doing like 2 nights and it was Raw one night, SmackDown, we'd be like, yeah, like 60 quid, don't I? Because the kids would want to, you know. Yeah. I paid £40 for a bad T-shirt for my youngest son last night. It was a bad shirt. They knock out some real dross at those merch stands. Yeah. You'll never see it on telly, I'll tell you that for free. But he was able to wear it, and when Cody pays over our section of the building and he thinks that Cody might have seen him wearing his shirt as that little bit of an energy boost, worth every penny. Like, the business, like, feels... I could have sworn there was still a boom happening last night. I was like, I was wrong for the last 12 months. Maybe The Rock was thinking 20 steps ahead and it was to get me to that house show.
So you're going Damien Priest over Solo Sikoa tonight?
Regretfully, yes.
It's Uncle Howdy's going to interfere.
Yeah, try and get that.
Well, there's going to be MFT's interference.
He'll pay for it because of MFT's are getting the belts back.
Yeah.
That's where this is going.
I think so. I think that's what needs to happen. I think MFT's carrying those belts into Mania, for example. I mean, I'd do it, obviously.
I mean, hang on. Biased. You're being a bit ambitious there, because if the MFTs win the belt, say, this month, and they carry it in Mania, there's going to be like 16 over babyfaces to challenge them by then, because that's what the MFTs do. But
yeah, I think there'll be MFT's interference out the ass, obviously, here.
Thank you for that indolence. I hope people enjoyed a mini house show review, but, like, I was proper, like, it was a Epiphany City Jones last night about so much. Like,
then I think Howdy appears and Damien Priest qualifies, obviously. You don't do what you've done with him and Aleister Black for him to miss out on
he
the
makes
four-way at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah. Another very pinnable challenger.
Yes.
Damien Priest as well.
Yeah. Now, where would you like to go next? I mean, I suppose 2026 is the year of The Miz.
Hoorah!
So let's talk about him and Randy Orton.
Oh dear, a Michael Hamflett personal anecdote. This was my honeymoon Raw main event. This was how The Miz became WWE champion in November 2010. I frankly want my money back if he doesn't mention it, because that's The Miz's stock in trade, right? Like, I want to be the world champion. How did I arrive upon that the first time? It was beating you, Randy Orton, 16 years ago. How dare you say I'm not a locker room leader? I've been at this just as long as you. I was beating you all that time ago, and you have the cheat to come back and treat me like pure garbage in 2026, the year of The Miz. Did you not get the memo, Randy? And then Orton beat him anyway, because that's what The Miz can offer you.
And a third consecutive week of RKOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orton has to be in this match.
And you know what's going to happen, don't you? This is when The Miz, with seemingly nowhere else to turn, like, so, you know, actually, Randy is pretty toxic. pretty awesome.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that the way we've booked it so far puts Randy Orton and Trick Williams in a ring together.
Mm-hmm.
Subsequently.
Which they built last week.
Now, arguably, let's move on to the favourite going into this, but
He should be, shouldn't he?
Quite an unpredictable match in terms of, like, they're not, apart from beating him in the house show, but no one really pays attention to that. Somebody they've invested heavily in.
Gunter teased the 5-knuckle shuffle, and Sammy countered it and did it. It was massive. It was like, this is fish in a barrel stuff for two of the best wrestlers in the world. Like
but yeah, Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov. It feels like an open goal. Not necessarily you have to put the WWE Championship on him yet, but we're here. It's Sammy. Sammy's over everywhere.
Yep.
But we go from here to Montreal to Saudi Arabia potentially for the WWE title. Come on. If not now, when?
Delicious booking this, right? That deserves more credit than it's getting. Sami Zayn, I think, will win. I think you're right. If not now, when? A win in Montreal.
Dragunov, maybe he has to reassess and be like, maybe it is the US title I need to get back.
Well, this is it. I want to get onto Dragunov because Sami Zayn, we kind of touched upon kind of when we started even theorising about the Rumble, but like a win in Montreal followed by a winner in near miss in Saudi Arabia is maximising this Sami Zayn thirst for gold, you know? Or even if you want to take a gamble, the defeat in Montreal maximises the most heat you're going to get for whoever is facing Drew. So Trick, like the upset of the century and Trick wins, right? He's done it in the best place for Sammy to lose. It's like, I'm never going to get my hands on the belt if I can't do it here, you know? And then he wins the Rumble. So you're all right. Ilya Dragunov, having, as you say, inadvertently patronised the belt that kind of got him back rolling again, realises, no, I need to show that more respect. I need to show Carmelo Hayes more respect. And I told him I was coming for that belt and I'm going to take my chance and it's going to be wherever. And he gets the shot right. It's not just that though, is it? Who did Ilya Dragunov beat to kick off his reign?
Sami Zayn.
So Sami Zayn gets that win back tonight, furthering this idea that Dragunov is, have I gone right back to square one here? I thought I turned up on SmackDown, all the recovery, all the momentum, riding the hype train, and I've lost the match to Carmelo Hayes. I've lost my title, but it was because I was a fighting champion. But now I'm back to scratch. And could this be like a Dragunov heel turn?
Ooh.
Could it be, I see Nakamura beating him, sort of like something to that, you know? Like, how sure I know, but nonetheless. And does he turn in an attempt to get the belt back? Does he, again, as you say, rethink, or is he derailed by another character who keeps him babyface? But that, like, as we always talk about, every wrestler should always be going for a title. A feud should be like an accidental diversion. So am I pitching this? I don't know. Let's say Dragunov is about to challenge for the United States title. He's like, you know what? I'll pick the week. I lost this. Melo, tonight's tonight. And Melo's like, great, see you out there. And then he's about to enter, and Aleister Black misses him. And then that's like, because Aleister Black wanted the shot or something. And then you've got Aleister and Ilya Dragunov for 6 months. But that's the diversion. There might be a better character, but that was just one off the top of my dome.
Off the top of my head there, I go, I love Melo. I hope he does something big. I'll put Melo and Trick together as a tag team if they're not doing singles gold stuff, because I think they'd be magic. Anyway.
Dragunov wins it back by cheating.
Yeah, Dragunov wins it back by cheating, right? Has another rematch, let's say, against Melo, and maybe Trick costs Melo, whatever you want to do. He escapes, and he says, I defended this in an open challenge for weeks, if not months, so I won't be defending. I'm stopping the open challenge, because it feels like someone's going to do that soon enough. Maybe, maybe not. I like the fact we get it, but there is going to come a week where...
It's almost like a booking prize for a heel, that, isn't it? To be like, you like that? Well, I'm not anymore.
Yeah, I'll take it away. Dragunov says, I'm not going to face anyone. I don't care who comes out to challenge me. I'm not defending this belt against you. And who comes out? Obafemi. And there's your match for WrestleMania.
I mean, you big brain stuff there.
I don't know. I'm booking Obafemi in something big.
You want him going right to the top and quickly. Yeah. Don't hate that.
But yeah, I like the fact that the Dragunov loss here isn't just like, use it to do something with him.
There are narrative tendrils stretching out with this, isn't there?
Him and Gunther. Hey, you're right, actually. I can't believe we've got this far in without talking about the bloke who's no longer WWE champion and now is going into the Rumble. What? Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Didn't win it back last night. Thought he might be walking into Wembo with the gold.
Surely grounds for a rematch tonight.
I would guess so, yeah. Love that for the kids, because they're going to be like, they've already had one, Dad. I was like, we know. We know.
But he's got. It's not just bloody Drew. You beat me in 3 stages of hell. It's quite a large other factor in this, and that's Jacob Fatu.
Am I speaking out of turn here to say that bit is better than the title change? Was it Drew?
Yeah, we don't actually know who
was
attacked.
it Cody? Was it a third party?
Dental stuff, so it could be Britt Baker, I suppose.
That's it, yeah. Heavy speculation about wrestlers that Tony Khan loves, but just doesn't seem to have anything for in AEW at the moment, turning up in WWE this month.
We could have Powerhouse Hobbs at the show tonight, by the way.
I would move heaven and earth. Like, if such a thing as...
technically, AEW Trios champion, Powerhouse Hobbs.
Oh, yeah. Now, yeah, even better, yeah. Yeah, get him on a plane. 2-day. Like...
Nikki Cross can show him where the bin is.
Hey, man. Very, very... very popular figure in London, as we talked about.
Yeah.
Hugely over just dicking about at the Millennium Dome after Forbidden Dow. And how could he not be? Look at Powerhouse Hobbs. I don't want to be his mate. Like, certainly wouldn't want to be his enemy. Take a punt on it. And if it doesn't go down mega hot in the building because it's just a very WWE-centric crowd, there's very little lost because you beat a guy's ace, you get it, you know? I would do it, but I don't think they will, but I would do it if I had the chance.
But yeah, sorry, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes and arguably new WWE champion Drew McIntyre, because it's safe to assume there's going to be some sort of Drew celebration.
Yeah. Drew.
I don't want to boast about this. It's very rare he gets to hold the WWE title in front of fans.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the first thing you should labour on. Drew should say, typical of corporate Cody, having it so that we couldn't have SmackDown in Glasgow where I would have liked it. Just to heal himself.
Yeah.
If they even go down that route, I suppose. He should mention that in this remarkably heavily weighted towards him return to SmackDown, that he also put in that Cody wouldn't get a rematch, because then you set up the situation that Cody has no choice but to win the Rumble, or no choice to endure the Chamber, or no easy route back for Cody Rhodes, you know? So he's going to do this. So my business has concluded. Yeah. Jacob, not ideal, but I'm going to let bygones be bygones. It wasn't me that attacked you. I can see why you're annoyed, but me and you, like, score draw. Because, you know, obviously Jacob's going to come. Jacob wants more revenge on Drew, but Drew wants nothing to do with Jacob Fatu. But Jacob Fatu, of course, should be, like, met with the obstacle of Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes attacking him at the end of the cage match last week honestly sent lightning bolts through my body. That was how SmackDown went off the air.
I like Jacob Fatu being anyone can get it as well.
Absolutely. That's the...
Like, he didn't swing and go, oh, sorry, I didn't realise it was you, Cody. He was like, I'll fight. Do you know how long I've been away wanting to fight someone? And I don't know who did it. So whether or not they do the reveal tonight...
Double underlined on the Jacob Fatu character whiteboard, nobody's safe. Like, at all times, nobody's safe. Like, never let a babyface get the arm around the shoulder, even if you're friggin' putting the tag titles on them, because he's like, yes, of course you want him on your side, but that he's a wild card. Like, that's,
he is indeed.
You can't, like, sit still while he's there. You want to be in a different room to him, but as long as he's on your team, that's fine. Love it potentially. Jacob Fatu, yeah, Rampage. SmackDown GM, can't remember his name, but he should be thinking, I can't sanction what happened last week. You had a direct impact in the world title match, in a match that, like, the stipulation was supposed to stop that exact thing happening, and you sort of got in the way of that. I understand you want to find out who did it. We're doing everything we can to help, but untenable. And that's just like, sorry, mate, I'm not playing that game. And chaos, make him a chaos and carnage wrestler for weeks. Ass kicking.
Maybe take someone out in these singles qualifiers.
Yeah. What was the Cardona match again?
Trick.
No. Priest and
Solo.
That one, maybe?
I don't want him associating with... I love the MFTs and Solo. I do not want Jacob Fatu anywhere near that again, though.
Priest wins, and Jacob takes him out before the match.
Yep, that works.
And he either tries to wedge his way in and can't, and gets booted out of the building. It's just a triple threat. And then you've got Priest as one of, like, Jacob's new rivals and something like that.
Or Cody gets put in and Sammy wins ahead of Cody.
Oh, yeah. Love that. Love that. Something like that.
Because I don't want him turning heel yet. I'm still holding out some hope for a Cody Punk WrestleMania match. but I like Cody flirting with it a little bit.
Yeah.
'Cause
I know Newcastle would favour if they're on that match.
I wouldn't, end of his tether, I wouldn't blame him, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
What he's been through the last year.
They made a big point again, didn't they, of showing that. I mean, they booked it, so why would they not? But the clip from the first match where Cody, is it the crossroads on the belt?
Mm-hmm.
He just shoves it out. And sorry, Drew.
Sorry.
They let you remember that, didn't they? They put that in all the video packages and stuff, and it was supposed to drive Drew's like disgust with the corporate Cody and all of that. It's if it's not where they're going, it is what they're thinking about. You know, then it's always on the mind that Cody might one day need to turn. So they drop these things in, and then if it disappears a bit for 6 months, it's always there.
Is it weird that the match I'm most confident right now for WrestleMania is not Drew versus, I don't know, Roman, or Sammy versus Drew, or Sammy versus Roman, or Cody versus someone. It's Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
Yes, please.
Not even Punk Breaker. I'm like, no, Bianca's winning the Women's Royal Rumble and Jade's facing her. Or Bianca's winning the Chamber.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right.
I really hope her hand's better.
Yep.
And I like the fact that Jade Cargill's just like, anyone who even tries to step up to me, apart from Jordan Grace, hope they further that again tonight, by the way. We've barely mentioned any women's wrestling, but nothing's advertised. And it was kind of more noteworthy for the world title, obviously, last week.
Triple H will never, ever...
Just love the unpredictability right now.
He will never competently promote or book a Women's Royal Rumble, will he, Triple H? But nonetheless, the roster will continue to persist in spite of that.
I mean, it would be nice if they remembered that the Royal Rumble's in 2 weeks tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And Drew McIntyre, just hit their best night of his life.
It's a keeping out of trouble night for Drew, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dodge the bother.
I'll tell you what, Jacob and Cody, why don't you two sort it out?
Yeah.
I'm going to go on my bus. Bye.
Yeah. Aye, I don't mind that.
In terms of title matches, though, we are getting a US title match. Carmelo Hayes alluded to facing Miz, alluded to facing Ilya Dragunov. They're both obviously busy tonight. It's an open challenge. He's asked for the UK's best.
Mm-hmm.
Who on earth could possibly answer this open challenge tonight? Oh.
I was going to go left when you think I'm going to go right.
Okay.
But stick with me on the drive, okay? It's Kit Wilson.
Oh, I thought you were going to say...
Well, who gets decked, the poor sod, before he makes it out to the aisle. They like this one in the US Open Challenge, which pisses him off and builds something for next week. Toxic. And the space is still wide open. And then the GM's like, remember the New Day at WrestleMania? When I said, but who? And like Kofi's taking off the hat, and it's this idea that like, the New Day going to win at this ladder match. And SmackDown GM, I can't remember his name, but I remember exactly where he's from.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I heard what you said, Melo, and you wanted the best of British, didn't you? And he kind of like starts to like play with his tie a little bit.
Don't.
And people are going, what? And he's like, and I've got him. And he reveals Leon Slater.
Oh my God.
Because a lot of people are talking about the SmackDown GM getting back in the ring, aren't they?
I want both GMs to get back in the ring.
Yeah.
I've never wanted Adam Pearce to wrestle more than I did this week.
What if we had double T's, you see? So what I'm telling you.
Tag team. The general managers.
Love it. Like, I can only remember one of their names, but we'll make him a team nonetheless. Hot Tag 2. He's tagged back out to Adam Pearce. Like Leon Slater.
Yeah, it's Leon Slater. Which, by judging by the last 24 hours, probably right call.
Yeah, got a lot of value. A very valuable addition to your wrestling show. Certainly, in the absence of Leon Slater match, you'd want to put something in his place.
I'm so excited for this TNA review. I'm almost as excited as I am for our world record attempt as we bring this podcast to a close.
This is history.
We've attempted stuff in the past with crackers and what have you, but I stumbled across one recently, and we can hopefully get online to... This isn't a Guinness World Record, right? But I saw a link to something, and now I'm on recordsetter.com.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. Ben Cooper currently holds the fastest time to eat a pack of Wotsits. Cheesy-based crisp, if you're unaware.
Yep.
And if you've never tried them, try them. They're the best.
What, America just, like, cheese puffs, corn puffs.
Yes, exactly.
It's kind of like that sort of different texture to your regular
You think
crisp.
from a sort of different shaped thing from the office when they
Yes.
chuck it until there's gobs.
Perfect.
Now, the rules state this must be a 16.5 gram of pack of Wotsits, but we've gone bigger.
Excuse me just a second.
How long? I'm going to give you a second if you're watching or listening to this podcast. How long do you think it should be to eat a pack of Wotsits corn puffs? Puffs, it implies the sort of a melt in the mouth, therefore making it a bit easier than a regular packet of crisps.
But in quantity, they clag.
Yes.
Second crisps.
Every single person I've asked, whether it's you, my missus, the rest of the guys in the office, everyone went low because you've got 33.82 seconds to beat. How big's your bag?
Well, 36 grams.
You're doubling it.
I'm doubling it, right? So can we...
Just double the time.
Well, can we extend that? Yeah, that's
I don't think anyone holds the record for this. So effectively, we are guaranteed to break a world record.
Well, not guaranteed because I might not do it.
Also, I watched this clip. Nothing against Ben Cooper, but it's 33.82 seconds to get all the what's it's in his mouth. He's not finished it.
Oh, well, that's not on, is it?
So regardless, we're setting a world record. I'm going to get my timer out.
So what? Hang on.
I need to message Phil. Phil said he wanted to be here.
What is it? 33 point what?
82 for the, but that's the half that bag.
So it's like 66, 70. Why can't I do the maths? What's 33.82 times 2?
107.64.
Okay, 107.64. So you're going to run the clock on 107.64 for me to eat this entire
Phil
thing.
Chambers said, "Let me know when you're doing this. I want to come and watch
Well, I'll just
it."
open the bag just in prep.
Yeah, you can.
I'm not going to eat a one. Camera's on me.
Warning. I'm going to read the warning from record
There's a lot of what's it's in here.
Speed eating can be extremely dangerous.
Yeah,
Please do not attempt this record unless you're above the age of 18 and trained as a professional speed eater.
You sound like there's a thing on the back.
Oh, Phil's gone for lunch. He's gutted.
There's some marketing speak in the back that sounds like when we talk about like TNA fans or wrestlers being Sixers. Are you a cruncher or a melter? Do you like to nibble those smooth round edges or let them gently dissolve in your mouth? Why is it sex? Why, not everything is sex, it's crisps. Or maybe live life on the edge. Start off with melting and then take a bite. However you snaffle or what's it, it's always deliciously cheesy. What is that?
Yeah, just
like
nonsense, right?
Just, you know what I said? These are marketing pods, right? Take a leaf out of our book and just talk about the thing you paid to talk about.
Exactly. Right.
I'm going to have to move the mic, obviously.
Yeah, you move the mic. No water. You're not going to talk because I've said that's. I've seen that's where it's tripped other people up. You tell me. I'm going to start the clock rather than me counting you down. I assume so, yeah. Actually, do you want me to count you down so you can time your first grab? And just very quickly, strategy-wise, are you going to hoy it or are you going to no fingers?
I'm going to try and hoy it as long as possible. I don't like cheesy fingers.
Okay. Right.
I will if I need
If one drops down, I'll try and pick it up for you. Don't worry about that, okay?
Worry about getting the bag.
Yeah, okay. A momentous occasion on the WhatCulture Wrestling podcast.
I'm not a competitive person.
Michael Hamflett, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. And he's gone full gob. It's like, don't laugh, don't you just focus on eating. It's like a feed bag for a horse, right? I'm very certain he's eating part of the bag as he does this. How you looking in terms of bag wise? Halfway down? Oh, about halfway through. Okay, there's a lot of air in these crisp bag, obviously, but I'm feeling quite confident. You're 25 seconds in, but don't forget we said you got an hour. No, you got a minute. You got a minute and what did I say? A minute and 6 seconds basically to get through this. You're halfway right now. So if you're past halfway on the bag, we are laughing. I'm sorry. I feel like Ben Cooper did not have this. Anyone laughing or giggling. He was just sat in a room wearing very smart, wearing a suit and tie actually. Okay, that's 50 seconds gone, Hamflett. You need to pick up the pace a little bit here. Okay, you're going to crunch them all up. No rules about crunching, obviously. 10 seconds to go. We need to really send this home. But, of course, we are setting the record here. Okay, he's gone for the cheesy fingers. He's gone for it. Whatever happens, I'm fairly certain this is a world record. Okay. He's spilling out. I think there's one dropped on the floor. Is it claggy? How claggy is it? I'm really glad we chose to do this right at the end of the podcast. Oh, God. Is that the end of the bag? Don't die on that. Actually, retention. You can't swallow yet. You're giving you quitting. Okay, he's quit, ladies and gentlemen. 1 minute and 30 seconds. When you're ready, bring the mic to you because I want a bit of a post-match interview. No, obviously. I mean, I really want some what's this right now. I I might have a practice over the weekend and see if I can do this next week with a 16-gram bagger. But I think people don't realise how fast the time goes. You have got cheese dust all over your beard and down yourself. But that is what a true athlete looks like. Talk us through that, Michael.
I think I could have done it. I think there was an intimidation factor of the grab bag.
Yeah, too big a swing.
Too busy. Yeah, like it was a too busy what's it party in my mouth. More flooded in than I wanted in the beginning. Like when that kid advertised that party on Facebook and it got out of control. Yeah. That was what was going on in my mouth with what's it, if that analogy scans.
I was thinking there, what's his name? Bevo. Is there a possibility that you could do it where you could put one in, semi-melt it in your mouth and just swallow it straight away? And so instead of doing the bulk chew, you're going...
I tell you where I think that's possible. Space Raiders have like a sort of, almost like a, what's the phrase called? The opposite of matte. Like a gloss finish on them.
Yes.
So they're the same texture, other than the fact that they've got this like coating around them.
Yeah.
Chemicals, no doubt, really hurting you. I thought...
Credit to Ben Cooper, by the way. Let's hear it for Ben.
Yeah, shout out actually, Ben. I'll respect that, because we all thought, like a few seconds, I still think I could do a regular bag quicker. I thought for a minute like I was going to choke to death.
That's the clip of another podcast or something that I saw had the exact same thing, by the way.
Yeah. There was one or two Watsits that just had gone down completely unchewed. And look at the shape of them. You cannot be, it's like a very, very, very
break a world
fat
record.
prawn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's melting as we speak, so at some point it'll have fully digested, but my body's natural juices and acids are currently trying to break down a full Watsit. And there's just a moment of panic when not only is it like in the windpipe, but then you open your mouth for air and all you're getting is more Watsit.
Cheese dust.
Yeah. But I feel fine now.
Good.
The recovery is a lot quicker than like
Don't
a half
try this
marathon.
at home, kids.
Don't try this at home, work, or school. That's what the WWE Titantron says. And I'm like, how they learn to fall off 20 foot of Watsits?
It's like Rey Mysterio's like, I broke my ribs. And people are like, I tore the muscle right off the bone. I almost choked on some Watsits.
Ate too many crisps on the internet.
But there we have it. We will
Good one, this one,
revisit this. Yeah.
That's what people tune in for, I think, all of this.
I'm buzzing for SmackDown tonight.
Me too.
Tea time smackers.
Watch it live tonight with the kids because it really bridges that Friday night gap as well. I can't force them to bed at the age you're at now. And there's no school tomorrow, so it's like Friday night. 3 hours of wrestling. You'll be more knackered than I am by the time 10 o'clock rolls around, mate.
Well, let us know your thoughts ahead of SmackDown in the comments section below, or on X at WhatCulture WWE, where you can follow us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn.
They can't cameo, whatever email, right?
I mean, they can follow you on there. Is it just he's not closed down?
Yeah, read my old tweets.
Yeah, go back and read his old tweets and like them, so he comes back to loads of nice likes.
If only I had cool promotional marketing things to nip back onto retweet.
Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. Make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, for daily wrestling podcasts, especially today, because we are reviewing the AMC premiere episode of TNA Impact a little bit later on today. And, of course, there's Wrestle Culture with a bloody good quiz. We'll be back on Monday to review SmackDown, of course. But for now, this has been the SmackDown preview, where we've had a world record attempt. We've discussed who's going to answer Carmelo Hayes' open challenge, what's next for Cody Rhodes, who's heading to Saturday night's main event, and new WWE champion, Drew McIntyre.
The SmackDown preview. It's got all this and a what's it on the floor.
See you soon.